Hello everyone, it is Shay in Silver Lake, Oregon. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? It is May 10th, 2026. It was 80 degrees today. The low was 40 tonight. Right now it's around 8:15 and it is 62 degrees. I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna take a look at this sky. Look how gorgeous that is. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and I had to call it quits because it's getting late. So I wanted to thank my friend and fellow YouTuber, the North End, who sent me see how I have this one? Well, she sent me this one. I've had it for a while. I've showed it to quite a few people because I want other people to see what it's like, the package that it comes in, and now they can see how big it, like this went from just a little tiny space right there all the way down to the end. So that's so cool. I'm not finished hanging it up. I still have the whole bottom to stretch out to go down. I just did so much but look how gorgeous that is. It looks so pretty. Like, gorgeous. So in the winter time, I usually do a lot of videos like right here. So that's a little nice. Ooh, and not to change the subject, but to change the subject because that's what I do. Okay, my grandson was over today and I take him on driving lessons, and so, which he's doing very, very well. He's always done very well. So he was practicing driving a whole bunch. We did it like 4 separate times, take a break. Then I took him out around. Anyway, so I was telling him about this neat, see, look at those insulators. They look so good right there. I was telling him about how look how wide this bed is now. The sidewalk, it's so wide. Way wider than what I thought. But that's okay. Because, like, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. It gives me room that I can scoot this bed back a little if I want to. But this is how far I've gotten. If you notice, there's 2 big holes because I have cardboard laid in there. And then I put the dirt back on top. I'm actually going to plant 2 blueberry bushes. And then I put the shelves up here while I was working in it. So I'll put the shelves back down. But I'm not ready to put them in yet because it's going to be cold in a little bit. And then, so that's what I worked on today. And then I also gave away some more onions. I have my container back. I'd filled my container, took it to them last night. And then I got my container back today, filled it with water. I'm going to dig up this whole cluster right here and try to fit as much as I can in that container. And then I'll get my container back. And then I'll fill it again. And then, I don't know, maybe another container. And take this to... So this is going to go to one neighbor. And then I'm going to send this to a whole nother neighbor. And then I will have the bed. And then I'm going to shorten the bed. Like, move it in. Probably like right here. So that my sidewalk is wider. And then I'm going to split it in half, do onions on one side, and I want to do garlic on the other. So that's what my goal is. And then my neighbor also, look, this light's on. The one that's down there that's changing colors. It was just, see, now it's going to aqua, green. Oh man, my strawberries. Look at those flowers. I'm going to have so many. And so he brought me over some hay with some nutrients in it. Or I don't know what that is, alfalfa hay, something. And I put it on my 3 trees so far. And then tomorrow I'm going to cut these stumps down a little bit more and like cut that off a little bit. And then I'm going to do the 3 trees in here. And then I want to plant my blueberries, and I want to do that around my blueberries. And then I forgot to tell you that I got 2 more asparagus crowns, which I already cut down the asparagus that I want today. And look, tomorrow I'm probably going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to cut. So that's pretty cool. But I'm going to dig out these tulips and just transplant them. You know, I don't care. If they live, they live. If they don't, they don't. But I want to dig this out, turn the dirt, pull out any of the weeds, plant my 2 new crowns, and that should be good. You know, I'm just going to make this an asparagus bed with an echinacea and 1 mum on the end. Yay! My garlic's getting out of control. This is kind of a too small of an area. I still plan to keep this garlic here. I'm just going to thin it out. And, you know, when it's ready, I'm just going to let it go. It's full. And then I'll pull a bunch and then just leave a small cluster. And then the seeds that I got from this garlic last year, I want to plant over on this side. So that was my plan for that. Look how good that looks now. And then with the shelves, and it's not all the way secured. The 2 side rails are, but the back rail's not. I haven't fixed that in. But I really like it. It looks really good. Oh, but anyway, what I was telling you, when I was taking my grandson on a drive, or his lesson, I told him about how my neighbor had it, and he doesn't have it anymore. He probably took it to the dump, blah, blah, blah. And then my grandson's like, when we drove past that shed, he's like, no, they're not. They're inside that shed. Like, he could see them. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. But then when we drove up and around, we noticed that he'd used one of these, but he had turned it sideways so that the round part was on the bottom, and he's using it as a porch rail. What a cool idea, huh? But I'm going to ask him if he's got any of these pieces, these back pieces, because I wouldn't mind having it, because those will make great hanging gardens, trellises, that kind of stuff like that. And anyway, so that's what I was going to ask him about. And then I also noticed by redoing some of my beds, I've managed to get extra pieces, because I was using that in that bed. I don't need it there anymore. So I'm going to move these. And the same thing with the rocks. Look how many rocks. I was able to almost finish. I remember when I put this bed in, I thought, man, I'm not going to have enough rocks. And now I've gone all the way down almost to that bench. And doing this front row, which is another goal of mine. And I was wondering what I was going to do with some of these extras. And now I've got, I don't know, I'm so tired. Wow, look how many lights have come on. That's crazy. That's a lot of lights that have popped. They're not all on yet. There's still a bunch. Look, I still haven't put those away. I still haven't done those. But I will. I'll get to them. And I want to do them on, I want to connect them to the back, like the back rail or something. Have some that are up higher. But they all are starting to come on now. All those, the colored ones are. Well, they're switchable. You can have them just white or the colored. So I have like a variety of both. You know, I got to fill up all the bird baths. I watered. I've got some different dirt that I'm going to stick in the hole for the blueberries. And then I'll put some mulch and stuff on top. And then I'm going to do the hay around them so that it keeps them pretty, you know, decent. Man, am I filthy. But I was going to try to finish this whole line tonight. But of putting the zip ties on, and it's probably only another 10-15 minutes, but I just literally don't have it in me. I just can't. I'm just too tired to do it. Oh, but it might blow up. I don't think it will. I could probably do a couple just to keep it. I'll do probably like 4 or 5. I can't do that many tonight because I'm just too tired. Building that bed, digging all that dirt out, laying the cardboard, putting it all back, and, you know, doing a few other things was just too much. And then I think I'm going to measure this back fence and see, because it's 50 feet and something. I think it's 80 feet. It's either, 60 or 80 feet. I remember because this one didn't fit all the way. And I noticed that the difference out of the 5 years is this one is more faded. This one is dark. I love it. And I remember mine being dark like this. And then I want to do that whole back fence and then finish off whatever. This short piece isn't that long. I don't know. But I think I've got to take this one down and put it on the back side. I think on the front side with the wind, it just doesn't, it's not. Ooh, I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes, so I got to go. All right, so look how great that looks. That looks so good. It's going to give Bruce a lot more, a little bit of privacy. He's going to love it. I know that he's going to love it. Especially after I get all this mowed and then cleaned up a little bit. He's going to love, because it's going to give him shade during the hottest part of the day. The sun beats this way. It's going to give him more shade. I think that will be nice. And in the winter when it's snowing and the snow comes sideways, it's going to be less snow piling up right there. Which, is a little bit nicer for me. And the leaves won't be all blowing because they blow right along this fence line. It'll be much easier to be able to rake them up if they're stopped right there and collect them. That will be nice too. All right. Peace, love, and happiness. May peace be with you always. Have a wonderful day, week, hour, minute, month, second, year. You know the schmill. Don't forget to rewind and be kind. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I'm going to take a picture of this gorgeous view right here. And that's going to be the thumbnail. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.